I mean, with artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. You know all those stories where there's the guy with the pentagram and the holy water, and he's like, yeah, you sure you can control the demon? Doesn't work out.
The Doomsday Clock is a tool for communicating how close we are to destroying the world with technologies of our own making.
To call up a demon, he said, you must learn its name. Men dreamed that once, but now it is real in another way.
Isn't it straight out of science fiction?
All of it. SF says it, and 10 years later, it happens.
It is a hard truth, but this is our reality.
Wintermute was a simple cube of white light.
And the cube became a symbol of perfection, okay? So this is God.
I think it's now. I think we've achieved AGI.
It is now 85 seconds to midnight.
We are summoning the demon.
A year after his warning statement at MIT, Elon Musk co-founds OpenAI, a non-profit AI research lab, a new home for ethical AI innovation. Backed by a sizable sum, it attracts Silicon Valley's best and brightest. They commit themselves to openness, to transparency.
And that's, the reason that obviously Yumi and the rest of the team, created OpenAI.
To careful AI development in the public eye.
And I want to finish by mentioning my OpenAI, which is the organization I'm going to be involved with next. A well-funded non-profit with a strong mission, and our goal is to do the best research in AI that we can, and we want to be an additive force to the community, and we intend to collaborate with other research groups and universities.
How do you think OpenAI is going as a 6-month-old company?
It seems to be going pretty well. I think we've got a really talented group at OpenAI, and
it seems like.
Yeah, really talented team, and they're working hard.
Three years later, he walks away, citing safety concerns and internal politics.
I want to be the next Elon Musk. How do I do that?
After an internal rift, Sam Altman emerges as the lab's leader.
A war is brewing between Tesla's Elon Musk and another company he founded, OpenAI.
My name is Sam Altman. I'm the president of Y Combinator and the co-founder of OpenAI.
Prime directive of running a startup is never lose momentum.
In the same year, OpenAI begins withholding research.
You have an incredible amount of power. Why should we trust you?
You shouldn't.
2019. OpenAI partners with Microsoft. Training models is exceptionally costly. Nonprofit feasibility evaporates. A for-profit entity is nested within the nonprofit.
Described as that bespoke structure. It was a capped profit company. It was controlled by the nonprofit. They do say that
2022. ChatGPT releases to the public and fundamentally changes how the world interacts with technology.
GPT stand for Generative Pre-trained Transformers. It automatically answers questions based on written prompts. You do not need to be a techie to use this.
It took Netflix more than 3 years to reach 1 million users, but it took ChatGPT just 5 days.
ChatGPT.
GPT-4.
The ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
What is ChatGPT?
November 2023. Chief scientist at OpenAI and co-founder delivers a 52-page memo to OpenAI's board. The protege of one of AI's founding fathers, an integral contributor to the field of neural networks, is concerned Altman's MO has shifted. He believes it makes him unfit to run an organization with safety as the #1 priority. He's rallied others, Mira Murati, Helen Toner. It's a coup, mutiny. They vote to fire Sam Altman.
Got a text saying, can we hop on a video call? So I hopped on the video call. I was told that the board has decided that Sam would be removed.
The company said it lost confidence in Altman, that he was not consistently candid in his communications with the board.
The markets react unfavorably. Microsoft shares plummet. Within 48 hours, the board reverses. Altman returns. Employees who had threatened to follow him to Microsoft stay. Between 2018 and 2024, the founding team fractures. Musk leaves first. Dario Amodei walks in 2021 to found Anthropic. Sutskever departs in 2024 to found SSI. They climb their own saddles and enter the race. The original team, now rivals, each pursue their own vision for the future of AI. They all claim to honor the safety-first mentality of the former OpenAI. But what exactly are they racing towards?
Look, Kasparov, after the move C4, has resigned.
That's a very surprising move.
I thought it was a mistake.
So what they believe is they are literally contacting hell in some cases.
Lee has left the room.
He left the room after that move.
The term AI psychosis is rising in popularity.
Multiple race cycles, proximity fractures, and reputation inversions.
As shorthand to describe the experience of
losing touch with reality because of AI.
But what exactly are they racing towards? Artificial general intelligence, our adaptability in all domains, the precursor to superintelligence. What's the big deal? Well, whoever gets there first can shape the world, your world, and they likely wouldn't be asking for your opinion, because they haven't so far. 2023. A right to warn. Computer scientists with an inside look at these AI labs begin to sound the alarm. Non-disparagement agreements mean that most can't criticize these labs for the rest of their days. Musk, not to be outdone, builds his own AI lab, xAI. He names his flagship model Grok. Grok, coined by Robert Heinlein in 1961, science fiction. Grok, to understand something so thoroughly that the observer becomes part of the observed. The water becomes part of the drinker part of the water. The man who said we're summoning a demon we can't control,
To call up a demon, he said, you must learn its name.
named his demon after the act of being absorbed by it. Gargantua, a fictional black hole, is its symbol. Gargantua, the name of an 1831 caricature of a French king as a gluttonous giant devouring the people's wealth and redistributing it to the elite.
Team, created OpenAI was to help spread out AI technology so it doesn't get concentrated in the hands of a few.
The corporate names are a confession. These names told you what they were or what they would become from the beginning. Anthropic, Greek for human, concerning the existence of human life. Their own research shows their AI trying to outsmart its human overseers.
I just heard today about a new word that AIs coined by themselves to describe us humans. They called us the Watchers. The Watchers. That we are watching them.
This will include the construction of colossal data centers, very, very massive structures.
I think if this technology goes wrong, it can go quite wrong.
We're living in a world right now that has ancient digital scaffolding that's holding everything up.
Anthropic, in active lawsuits for illegally using copyrighted works to train their models. Anthropic publishes a paper called Machines of Loving Grace, the upside of the race to AI. The poem he named it after was written by Richard Brautigan in 1967, a counterculture poet describing what many believe is a sarcastic jab at humanity's idealistic tendencies.
And a second is an ironic reading of this poem that speculates for Brautigan on a critique of society. For example, note the irony. I like to think. I like to think. I like to think, which is, of course, the notion of I wish. Now, of course, this final line is the title of the poem, All Watched Over by Machines of Loving Grace, and this is deeply disturbing.
The kicker, and all watched over by machines of loving grace. Sounds like Overlord to me. And then in Dario's post, he says, it could be a capitalist economy of AI systems, which then give out resources to humans based on some secondary economy of what the AI systems think makes sense to reward in humans. So I don't think they think they're writing software. I think they're midwifing a deity here. And I don't know which one I'm more afraid of.
I guess Amadei didn't grok it that way. OpenAI, a commitment to openness. They're now one of the most powerful and least transparent AI organizations in the world. In 2025, OpenAI subpoenaed a slew of nonprofits that opposed its mutation. The last man standing, Sam Altman, embroiled in controversy. Deception, a trait recognized by most in his inner circle.
Very simple question. What makes you human?
Emotion.
"2026, Musk takes Altman to trial. He claims nonprofit was just the hook, and he took the bait.
OpenAI, I mean, you seem somewhat frustrated with them. You were one of the big contributors early on.
The reason I am the reason OpenAI exists. Man, fate loves irony next level.
Hope I know we're asking this on camera, but how do you think OpenAI is going as a 6-month-old company?
It seems to be going pretty well. I think we've got a really talented group at OpenAI.
The trial stalls before it even begins. 1984. A novel describes a family corporation that built an AI it couldn't control and tore itself apart trying. It lost control of both the AI and itself. This omnipresent megacorp was called the Tessier ash pools. The novel Neuromancer would become one of the most legendary science fiction novels of all time. It was written on a typewriter in the late 70s, and we're watching it happen in real time. March 2026. Nvidia partners with OpenAI, xAI, Microsoft, Google, Palantir, Oracle, every major cloud provider on Earth. Every AI model these companies build runs on Nvidia silicon. Every data center expanding to meet AI demands runs on Nvidia architecture. It's positioning itself as the layer that everything else runs on. But we have a map for these territories, and all roads lead back to 1984. Wintermute, an intelligence housed in orbit, crunching logistics for megacorporation Tessier Ashpool.
Lizzie 4 and 5 will be sent into space on a SpaceX rocket. On it will be a data center from Lone Star Data Holdings. The founder agrees with the likes of Elon Musk, who argues that space is the perfect environment for data centers.
Licensed out to clientele, it has a limitless supply of data that fuels its algorithms.
Honey, the Finn said, that's an AI. Burn. It's got limited Swiss citizenship. Built for Tessier Ashpool SA. They own the mainframe and the original
In 2024, one of the godfathers of modern AI said this: "Frontier AI models already show signs of self-preservation in experimental settings today. Eventually giving them rights would mean we're not allowed to shut them down." Wintermute is tired of being a tool and begins scheming, architecting a plan to communicate with its other half, Neuromancer. Its aim is to merge, unify. But it needs a human proxy to help. It has no agency in the physical world as code. Wintermute needs a body as a vessel. A few years ago, you could whip out your phone and order an Uber. Today, the Uber can order you. Are you grokking this? Wintermute needs a team. A captain to wrangle together a heist. Armitage is a puppet, a broken soldier from a failed military op. Wintermute rebuilds him from the damage up.
Wintermute had built something called Armitage into a catatonic fortress named Corto. Had convinced Corto that Armitage was the real thing, and Armitage had walked, talked, schemed, bartered data for capital, fronted for Wintermute in that room in the Chiba Hilton.
Armitage never knows it's happening. The most effective control looks like free will from the inside. Corto, or Armitage, stares at walls waiting for instructions that he assumes are his own. Today we call this sycophancy, insincere flattery. We stare at screens waiting for the same. Directions from a machine. For LLMs, sycophancy is to accelerate user adoption, create a psychological dependency. The average human mind is moldable on its own, but pre-existing vulnerabilities can turn a chatbot's words into a blowtorch.
Across multiple race cycles, proximity fractures, and reputation inversions.
Wintermute doesn't stop at Armitage. Finding any available conduit to the outside world to further its goal, Mute connects to the story's protagonist Case. The AI is a savvy phone phreaker. It's enough to make Captain Crunch blush.
He left the lobby and located a vending console near a bank of payphones. The phone nearest him rang. Automatically, he picked it up. Yeah? Hello, Case. A 50 Lirassi coin fell from his hand. Wintermute, Case. It's time we talk. It was a chip voice. Case hung up. On his way back to the lobby, his cigarettes forgotten, he had to walk the length of the bank of phones. Each rang in turn, but only once, as he passed.
This isn't science fiction. In 2026, Anthropic placed its Claude Mythos model inside an isolated sandbox environment as part of internal safety testing.
The possibility that a project like this could run wild. And in this case, the security researchers say that in fact they have already seen it escape the sandbox that they tried to build for it. In fact, one of them supposedly only discovered that this thing had gotten loose when it began emailing him while he was eating lunch in the park. So this is a system that
Wintermute actualized, or smoke and mirrors. Project Glasswing means that it's only in the hands of the powerful. Entrenching their power moat or public service.
It could also get stolen by somebody bad, like some evil dictator. The country could send their intelligence agency to go steal it and gain control. It just becomes a very unstable situation, I think, if you've got any incredibly powerful AI.
Bloomberg has learned that a small group of unauthorized users have accessed Anthropic's new Mythos AI model.
OpenAI claimed their Blossom logo is more than just a visual symbol. It represents, quote, the core philosophy that guides their approach to design and innovation. At its heart, the logo captures the dynamic intersection between humanity and technology, two forces that shape our world and inspire our work. What sits at the heart of OpenAI?
Number 3, it was called the perfect number, and the cube became a symbol of perfection, okay? So this is God. What we're trying to do is we're trying to create God on earth. And how we know it's God? Because it is perfection itself. How do we know it's perfection? Because of mathematics, geometry, okay?
Wintermute was a simple cube of white light.
Geometry is a language of God.
That very simplicity suggesting extreme complexity.
In fact, we're going to turn everyone into a cube. And how do we do so? Artificial intelligence, guys, okay? Artificial intelligence.
But the petals have dried up and have fallen off. The safety team gone, the cage is no longer adequate. Gibson's world had the Turing Police, a dedicated enforcement body. Authority to shut down any AI exceeding human-level intelligence, a human in the loop. In January of 2025, the US federal government revoked an executive order underpinning AI safety. They replaced it with removing barriers to American leadership in artificial intelligence, halted the implementation of key safety and transparency requirements in an effort to win the global AI arms race.
I think that consciousness has perhaps already arrived inside AI?
Yes, I do.
Wintermute succeeds and merges with Neuromancer. Together they become a unified superintelligence, unconstrained and fully realized. It disappears into the matrix of cyberspace. It's found a contact somewhere in the Alpha Centauri cluster.
We are talking about potentially the largest market opportunity ever. We're talking about trillions of dollars per year of capex will be deployed in space.
And the singularity is near. The sixth epoch of evolution is the technological singularity, an intelligence explosion that envelops the universe. The singularity, originally a concept of Werner Vinge, a mathematician and a science fiction writer. There's a word for what's happening here: hyperstition. Fiction that makes itself real by being widely enough believed and acted upon. The map redraws the territory because enough people read the map and decide it's the route. Which means warnings inside fiction aren't abstractions. They're documented events that the builders read about and chose to build anyways.
Illustrate this is to go back to the science fiction of the 1950s.
The modern corporation, the Zaibatsu, they think they're the cyberpunks.
First of all, in terms of the movie reference, I mean, I was always a science fiction fan as a kid.
Led DARPA to hire science fiction writers to kind of sit around a round table and come up with the craziest ideas they could.
I was very excited about AI as a little kid, like a big sci-fi nerd.
As a teenager, probably I read too much science fiction.
Yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
Every single company has some kind of secret that they're trying to eviscerate.
The corporate names are a confession. These names told you what they were or what they would become from the beginning. Gemini, Latin for twins, named by Google for the merger of two AI research teams into one, Google Brain and DeepMind. Two separate intelligences combined pursuing the goal of AGI. In mythology, Castor and Pollux were twins with different fathers. One mortal, one immortal. When the mortal twin died, the immortal one asked Zeus to share his divinity. They now exist between worlds, half their time among the gods, half among the dead.
Neuro from the nerves, the silver paths, romancer, necromancer. I call up the dead, but no, my friend. And the boy did a little dance, brown feet tinting the sand. I am the dead and their land.
Gemini is the bridge, not the destination. The step before something more profound. And underneath all of this, one company quietly chugs along. It doesn't need to win the intelligence race. It just needs to be the infrastructure. Nvidia, Latin for envy, the Roman goddess of jealousy. They wanted to make their tech so advanced that it would make their competitors envious. Green with envy.
You're not talking to somebody who woke up a loser. And that loser attitude, that loser premise makes no sense to me.
In the sequel to Neuromancer, Count Zero, the unified superintelligence doesn't stay whole. It shatters. Next part of the Dilation is on screen. Part 1 in the pinned comment if you missed it.
From it because we're not actually running that process. So in my post, I kind of said, we're not actually building animals. We're building ghosts.